Hello. Hey, happy Monday. You know, I'm standing here getting ready to record and do this live for you guys, and I'm thinking to myself, gosh, it feels like so long ago that I did last week's live. Don't some weeks just kind of go poof? And I swear to you, as soon as we hit Thanksgiving, the world goes on hyperspeed. Anyone else? It's kind of nuts. I am not participating in hyperspeed, although, okay, so I say that. But if those of you who are connected with me on my private Facebook, you saw the list of things that I did over the weekend, and you would not say, Jenny, it seems to me that you've said no to the hyperspeed of the holiday season. No, not entirely, because there are things that I really enjoy doing during the holiday season, but I've figured out ways to consolidate and compress a little bit so that it's not quite so crazy. So, and last night I cut it off at like 4 o'clock and made sure that I got time to relax and chill out and take a hot bath, do a little detoxing, woke up good. So anyway, so I want to encourage you all as you log on, you're not logging on, but as you check in here, please say hello, put something in the comments so that I can see, because sometimes Facebook doesn't always show me who's on. I can see that there's a number of people watching, but that doesn't actually tell me who's there. So if you can say hello so that I know that you're here. If you're catching the replay later, it is #replay. And I encourage comments both during our conversation here today as well as after. If you're catching the replay, I do watch for notifications to make sure that I'm answering your questions, especially since today is a Q&A. I have prepared some things that are answers to common questions around our topic today, but as I'm chatting, if you would take a moment and type in your question so that I can come back and make sure that I'm answering all of those for you. Because our topic today is talking about, okay, what is a coach? What's a consultant? And what is a counselor? Oh, hey, Lisa, great to see you. I'm so glad you're able to log on today. I was thinking about you the other day too. I would love to connect with you a little bit further. I would love to see how your plans for negotiation are going in January. But anyhow, the 3 C's that we tend to see, what the heck are they? And what's the difference? And when do I know that I need one? Do I need one? And all of those little logistics, because from my perspective, as I'm watching things out there and I'm listening, there's coaches popping up all over the place. There's consultants. There's what is it? What makes it different? And then sometimes, you know, maybe you've heard this before, the confused mind. To the confused mind, the answer is always no. I know that if I'm confused about something, even if I can see that maybe there's something that might be helpful to me, my immediate response is, nope. Processor introvert brain especially says, nope, not gonna do it, because that means I have to think, and if I have to think, I don't want to play in that world, so no thank you, right? So I just got to thinking, sometimes I put things out there and I make the assumption that my audience, you guys, all know what the difference is. So I wanted to take some time today to kind of walk through what that is and maybe clear the waters a little bit so that you can actually see what is a coach, what is a consultant, and what is a counselor. They're not all the same. There are some similarities that we'll talk about here, but they're not all the same. So again, I encourage you, I'm going to answer some basic questions, ones that I know are kind of lingering out there, but I would love to have you type in, what are your questions? What do you see out there that is confusing to you? And then I'll make sure to come back and do those. And then as you're coming online, please be sure to say hello. And again, if you're catching the replay, it is #replay later on. So let's start with what makes a coach, a consultant, and a counselor similar. Not same, but similar. What's the common thread between all of them? The number one common thread of all of them is that they're all helpers. All 3 want to help. Hey, Valerie, good to see you. You're on my list of people to connect with too. I need to reach back out to you. Check in and see how you're doing. Anyhow, all 3 are helpers. all three are there and built to give a lending hand in some form or fashion, right? So you're typically going to find those people. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. They are there to help you out, right? They're going to be helper type people. They're going to be personality types that are helper type people for the most part. You might find an oddball, but we're helpers, right? So that's one similarity. Another similarity is that all three are going to help you get from A to B, and sometimes C, D, E, F. The point is going to help you get from your point of stuck, your concern, your problem, your I can't seem to move out of this space into the next space. And the how is to be determined, but that really is a key piece of the three. Coaches, consultants, and counselors are going to help you get from A, stuck, wherever you are, to the next step or 3 or 4 and walk you through that. So you don't have to do it alone. Can I get an amen and a hearts? Can we get some hearts for not having to do things ourselves on our own? Because life is too and crazy to try and do these things by ourselves. Okay. The third thing that makes all three similar is that when you say yes, you raise your hand and you say, yes, I'm going to hire somebody, one of the three, you are investing in you. You are not only raising your hand and saying, okay, I'm ready to present some cash of some kind. I am willing to invest in me. So when you hear me talk about my fees, you're going to hear me mention that as an investment. You're investing in you, right? How many other things do we invest in our lives? Be it, Jennifer's a financial planner and works in that world. We're investing dollars into our future. I'd like to shift a little bit and help you understand that when you hire a coach, consultant, or counselor, you are investing in you to be the best version of you, right? So those are the ways that we're similar. All of us are helpers. We're going to help you. That's our whole focus on life. It's why I became a coach. Is why. Is my big why. We're going to help you get from A to B. And you're going to be investing. There's going to be an investment in that, but you're investing in you, right? So that's where we're very similar. I see a few people hopping on, and I'm so glad that you're here. I do invite you to type in questions, things that you're curious about or something that you'd like me to expand on as you're listening to me. Again, and if you're catching the replay later, it's #replay, and then ask my question. I'll be watching notifications to make sure that I'm being as clear as I possibly can with you all, because I want to make sure that we're clearing the water, taking away the confusion so that you understand better what it is that you're getting when you hire somebody. Okay, so those are our similarities. What makes us different? You know, sometimes in life, what sets us apart is what makes us different. We spend so much time wanting to be like everybody else, but what really sets us apart is what makes us different. Ironic, right? Let's start with counselors. Really what makes a lot of the difference here is going to be a couple of different things. Education, licensure, and methodology. There's the word I was looking for. I lost it there for a second. Counselors are going to have a minimum of a master's degree. And they get to also do things like diagnose. Can sometimes bill an insurance for you. And oftentimes we'll also be working in realms of psychological issues. Now, they're not PhDs and they're not PhDs, but they can help in that realm and can diagnose with actual ICD-9s and things like that. Coaches and consultants are not going to be able to do that. Now, I have used counselors. Utilized. I don't want to say used. That's a horrible word. I have utilized, I have taken advantage of, I have reaped the benefits of working with a counselor in order to work through some hang-ups that I've had around relationships, around depression, around anxiety, that's what I've been to counseling for, just being quite transparent. I have been a beneficiary of counseling in my life. There's your counselor. Now, counselors may employ coaching tools and oftentimes have training as a coach as well. So they do cross over a little bit. But that's kind of where the distinction is. The education and the licensure is a much higher level with our counselor friends. Okay. Consultants and coaches both, neither one are required to have master's degrees and higher licensure things, but there are some certification things that you want to look for. The methodology is really where we find a difference with regards to coaches and consultants. The way that I tend to think about it, a consultant is someone that you hire to bring in to show you more pinpointed how to do something, right? So a consultant, say you hire a business consultant. A consultant is going to come in and look at all of the bits and pieces, and they're going to be able to see where there is a concern in your business and then give you solutions. I recently hired a business consultant that uses coaching tools. So she looks at my business, she looks at what I'm doing, she helps me with my marketing and my selling and things like that. But she actually also coaches me with some of my triggers and my mindset issues, and uses some tools around that so that I'm able to get from A to B and C and D, right? Consultant is going to do more of shining the light and telling you how to do something, right? Does that make sense? Consultants may have some higher education specific to consulting, and they may not. You're looking for people who are experts in the field that you are wanting to grow in. So if you're looking for growth in your business, hiring a business consultant or coach makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now, a coach, this is probably the one that gets the biggest amount of concern and question, and because we hear a lot of people calling themselves coaches. They pop up. There's no required licensing. There's no required education. However, I do have a life coaching certificate. I took the time to get the education and learn. And here's why. I have spent most of my life with this neon sign on my forehead that says, go ahead and tell Jenny everything because she can help you and she can handle your truth. I have total strangers that will walk up to me and start sharing their things with me. It's just an aura about me. And about 4 years ago, I decided that, boy, that's a heavy load to carry. I really should have some skills that help me help my people, that help me actually be ethical about what it is that I'm doing and be able to guide in a better way. So I do have a coaching certificate. It is, signed, sealed, and delivered. That gives me some actual tools to be able to help my people, the people that have hired me, get from A to B, C, D, right? Without falling into the consulting necessarily, right? So I'm a coach, and I use occasionally a consulting tool, right? I mentioned earlier my consultant also used coaching tools. We cross-pollinate a little bit, and that as a coach, I'm able to answer a lot of questions. My job is to help you answer the questions. The idea as a coach is that you have all the tools hiding inside of you that you need to answer what's next. What's my next right step? But sometimes we get really blinders on and I can't see because I'm too emotionally tied to what it is that I'm doing, or I can't see, right? So as a coach, my job is to ask you the right questions, the right intuitive questions to help you see what that next right step is, and then help you develop, co-create. We're working together side by side, co-creating your next steps in order to get you to your next place, right? I'm not seeing any comments and not seeing if anybody's even if this is making sense. So please type in any questions that you have with regards to the differences in the three. All right. So again, some of it's going to be licensure and certification, and some of it is going to be methodology. As a coach and a consultant, even, right? We're really there to help you move forward. Now, when do you hire one of us? When do you see, okay, I need it? Sooner than you think. I'll give you a little example of myself. I am an extremely highly independent, smart person, as are you. And I generally run through life feeling like everything's figure-outable, some form or fashion. And I like to beat my head up against a wall until I can figure it out. I don't really like beating my head up against a wall. It's really annoying and frustrating. But I have held back on investing into a coach or a consultant for most of my life, just simply because I'm doing it myself. I'm figured it out. But I go slower. What finally convinced me to put in some dollars and invest into a consultant coach for my business this year was that I knew that I wanted to take my business to places that had never gone before. And I also knew that I was smart enough to be able to do it on my own, but capital B, capital U, capital T, underlined, underscored, big but. I wanted to get there faster. I wanted to put my plans and onto an accelerator. Think of hiring a coach and a consultant as putting accelerant onto your fire. We are there to help you, like you've got a campfire, right? And it's burning a little bit, but then somebody's really smart and they take the lighter fluid and spray it all over the place. And now you have a forest fire. That's what a coach and a consultant can do for you. So what I hear a lot of times, and things that I've even said to myself, right? I will hire a coach, I will hire a consultant when I get to B. But what if hiring somebody at A could speed up your process to B and actually then get you to C, D, E, and F faster, better? Because typically speaking, the professional that you hire, the professional coach and consultant, they are 6-7 steps ahead of you or more. They've been there and done that, done the knee scraping, good and bloody. They've learned their mistakes, and now they get to help you so that you can avoid some of those things and go faster. Okay, hopefully this is making some sense in order to help kind of unmuddy the water a little bit around what each of us does. I'm obviously more familiar with what a coach does because I am one. Studied, trained, been practicing for a little while. So that's exactly what we can do for you, right? Invest earlier than you think. Trust that you're investing in you, adding accelerant to your fire so that you can get to where you want to go faster, right? That's pretty much it. I'm going to give you guys some time to type in any other questions that you might have with regards to what is the difference, how do I know, who, right? So let's dig in a little bit. Who? There are lots to choose from. Obviously, there's me. You can pick me. There are other coaches out there. There are other consultants. How do I know who the right one is for me? True confessions here. The coach that I did finally hire in this year, I was introduced to her back in, I want to say May of this year. I kind of cyber stalked her for 6 months. I didn't actually connect with her. I just watched for 6 months and finally hired her in like September. So maybe a little less than 6 months. Because I wanted to make sure she was the right one. Now, again, introvert, processor, slow, also had a whole lot of trying to turn off the water fountain that was coming in my life and shut the door on opportunity that was happening in my life. So there's that, right? Could have done some counseling with that one. But who you pick needs to be someone that, one, gets you. Two, you feel like they've got the expertise that you need to take you to where you want to go. That was part of my decision process, and who I hired was because I could see that she was already doing what I wanted to do with my business. And so that's where I wanted to go. Right? So finding the right person, personality matching, right? Making sure that you're a good fit. So most coaches and consultants will give you a free, let's do a video chat and meet each other and get to know each other a little bit and see if we're a good fit. And they will generally do a sample session with you so that you can get a sense of, is there chemistry? Because let's face it, if there's no chemistry, we're not going to make any change. And we're not going to be able to do what it is that we've set out to do. We're not going to get from A to B because there's going to be resistance, right? So it's not just a matter of picking, is it a coach, is it a consultant, is it a counselor, but is it the right person for you? Okay. There's a lot that goes into this, but I'm hoping that by talking through this, we're clarifying a little bit more about what some differences are and what can do for you. So let's talk a little bit about coaching introverted leaders. That's what I do. My specialty is coaching introverts who are leaders. What does that mean? How can I possibly help you? You're in this group because you have identified yourself as an introvert and you have a passion for your life and you have things that you are trying to accomplish, but sometimes being an introvert tries to derail you. Now, because I believe that the people in this group, you all beautiful people, have a mindset of growth and have a mindset of evolving and getting beyond that discomfort that tries to stop you, right? That we talked about it last week when you are getting ready to go into an event and you pace back and forth in front of the door before entering in, right? My job as a coach is to help you think through what it is that you want to be able to accomplish. And how do you do it in a way that honors who you are as an introvert, helps you grow through your weaknesses, and really capitalize on your strengths so that you can achieve those goals. That's what I do. So how would you know that it's time to hire perhaps me? Is that you are just feeling stuck in where it is that you are, and you're sensing that your introverted personality is what's getting in the way. It doesn't have to be that way. Because I believe that you're in this group because you don't see being an introvert as a crutch. You see it as an asset. And that takes some process to kind of work through those things. That's where I'm an expert. That's where I can help you. So that's kind of explaining a little bit more about what it is that I can do for you as a coach. There are other coaches out there. There are a ton of coaches out there that can help you. So part of it's identifying what is your pain point, and then finding someone who can help you walk through that to get beyond the pain point into thriving, because I believe that we all want to thrive. Okay, so that's a lot of me talking. I'm not seeing any questions coming up, so I'm hoping that by my working through that I've kind of identified some of the basic questions that maybe people are running around in their heads. Basic similarities between coach, consultant, and counselor, and some basic differences, and then kind of an example of how I as a coach can help you. Now, I mentioned earlier, most coaches will offer a free, let's get together, let's see if this is a good fit or not for you. I do offer that. Up above in the description of this is the link to my scheduling app. The reason I have that is so that we don't do a lot of backing and forth, and it saves both of us some time. I invite you to click the link and find a time that works well for you in your calendar, and then the system will automatically send you a calendar invite. It'll automatically send you the Zoom link where you and I can spend just a little bit of time, and you can ask me some questions, and you can learn a little bit more about what it is that I do, learn a little bit more about how this can help. And then I also get an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what's your pain point. and how I can help you walk through that. It's no pressure whatsoever. It is just simply an exploration to see how and if this would work. But this is definitely my gift. And this is a way that I'm able to be a helper, because that's one of the common threads in all three. This is how I'm a helper. So I hope this is answering your questions and took away some of the mud out of the confusion around exactly what is the difference between the three. If you have further questions, if after a while you're listening to this and you're pondering and you think, oh, I wish I'd asked, because we do that as introverts sometimes, don't we, right? Ask the questions here in the thread and I'd be happy to come back and address that. So thank you so much for your attention today. I look forward to seeing your questions. If you're catching the replay later, it is #replay, and I will see you guys a little bit later. Talk to you soon. Bye.